Hi, this is Paul Ashford, and this is my Evidence of Learning 3, Wrap It Up and Connect It. The first area I've started using in my teaching is forms. It was something that Phil showed us in a lesson and I got on particularly well with. I found it quite easy to set up. The first thing I did is use it just for small tests and some assessment work, assignment work for learners. This one was for talent identification, and it allowed me to have open and closed questions. The learners thought it was quite good. It was easy to access. It was a real quick and easy way of capturing assessment information. It also allowed them to concentrate on the content more than the format. In my eyes, there's pros and cons to that. Previously, I've done this main test as a piece of assignment work, so they might have missed out in terms of included introduction and assignment writing, but they do a lot of that already. And I think they found the form a quick and easy way of fulfilling an assessment. I actually taught a group how to use forms also, which was quite good. It related to the criteria here, which was to conduct some research. So I put together a how-to guide to forms, and we talked through it, and they used that as part of their assessment. As I said, I found forms quite good, so I was well on my way to using them. What I also found is that I used forms in my other role as a peer practitioner in terms of quality, and I used it with the 6 members of staff that I'm currently supporting. This just asked them to highlight their strengths and their weaknesses in terms of their teaching. From this, it allowed me to match them up. So I was quite fortunate that I got quite an even spread of results. So the people that were strong with questioning matched up with the people that were weak at questioning, and so forth. That was really good. It took some persuading to get the staff to complete the forms. I'm working with a construction department, and they have at the moment quite a negative view of technology in the workplace for them. Satori, so through our course, we've been introduced to lots of different apps that we could use, and Satori is one I found myself actually. It was something, again, I think I've mentioned it, I've just become a bit more confident in searching for different apps and different technologies to fit different areas, and I think this comes into Tricano that I'd already mentioned in a previous assignment, that he says that actually it should complement teaching and teachers and their existing teaching. So this Satori is something I found and I used in terms of supporting students fulfill a timeline assignment that they needed to do. In previous years, students had done it on a Word document and spent a lot of their time shifting text boxes and often became quite frustrated with it. Satori gives you a really nice layout. It's simple to use. I let the students explore it really. Once I'd introduced it, they can put pictures in, they can put quizzes. It also allows me to track where they're at, and I'll be marking it through Satori. So I can give constant feedback. I can see where people are at, when they were last on it. A really good app in terms of producing timelines. Staff notebook. So this is something I've used in my quality role, and I use it to track the support that I've given members of staff. So for each member of staff, they have a notebook, and it covers coaching actions, miscellaneous personal information, personal development, reflection. So these are the bits that the college want done. So 3 coaching observations, iris, video reflection, planning review, and then home and away peer obs. It's just a really nice tool. For me, it allows me to log notes wherever I am, as long as I've got access to IT. It also allows the person I'm working with to access it. Again, I think one of the holdbacks to this is trying to get those members of staff to access and have a look at it themselves. At the moment, I feel I'm doing a lot of the input and then not actually using it as a collaborative tool. But I'm working towards that with them. And it's quite interested in the fact that I'm coming up against staff that are probably in a similar mindset to where I was not so long ago. QR codes, again, another simple tool that Phil showed us in class, and I've used again with this timeline. So not only have they got reading pieces to put together their timeline, they've also got QR codes that take them to walk through videos that give them additional information. Students really like that, something a little bit different. I think if the whole timeline had been QR codes, they would have got a little bit bored, but I think this was nice. It helped increase their listening skills as well as their reading and writing skills. Again, with QR codes, it's interesting that I've taken a lot of things I've started putting in my teaching and trying to embed them with my work with the construction department. So I looked at, this was a link of QR codes and forms. So at the end of each practical session, construction students were asked to fill in a workshop job card. This was very difficult to get them to do, particularly in the wet trades where this would get wet and messy, and they would just end up being put in a folder and not really reflected on. So what I did is I put a QR code up in each of the workshops, plastering, carpentry and bricklaying. It takes them to a form which they fill in, and then their feedback goes direct to their tutor. Their tutor is then encouraged to use the feedback from the form in their one-to-one sessions. Just an article of interest that I've read this morning actually, and kind of covers a lot of things I've talked about over the 3 assignments. So this article was from a meeting of Tom Sherrington and Eric Scheninger, and it's really interesting. It talks about Eric's ex-headmaster, and he talks about his journey where he used to go from, he's come from banning technology in classrooms to now being a real big advocate of it, which is kind of where I feel the journey I'm on at the moment, and I'm enjoying it. I think things like OneNote, I really feel keen now. I've used it in a quality role to embed in my teaching, but I feel like I need the infrastructure there from the college. But I really like Eric Scheninger's talk about blended learning. He also focuses on the problem solving in real world situations, which I looked at in detail on my online courses. And these are my references. Many thanks.